Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today I am just doing a little bit of recycling. So I'm using the Amazon, sort of like the little envelopes that you get when you receive sort of like bits and pieces from Amazon. I've got smaller ones and I have got bigger ones, and all as I'm doing, I'm going to be prepping them ready to do journals. So really super simple. But I've got lots of envelopes, I've got lots of stuff that I need to recycle, and I thought if it's all ready to go like this, sort of like cut down almost to the right size that you want, but it's not, you know, important, but we can then have them ready to do journal covers. So this is just one I've just cut it around the edges. This one I cut down from a bigger envelope, and I actually use a piece of it to reinforce the spine, because they do have this little bit here. Let's go this way. This is how they fold. Do you know what I mean? They've got this bit that sort of like folds in, but again, you don't have to do that. You can just have it as that big. But if you wanted to sort of like a spine, you could do that. Or if you didn't want such a big spine, you can cut down the middle and put this one over the top of that one, if you know what I mean, and then you can have a reinforced spine, so it would only be sort of like that big. But we will be doing some of these next year. I want to make a few more journals next year, so I'm going to just keep that on there with that one. So you can see here I've got, these are the little envelopes here like that, and all as I've done here, you can see I've just cut them around the edges, ready to go, which is just super simple, and those in your stash are perfect. Now, as you know, I don't like making sort of like mass making of actual things, Josh, I mean, because I never use them. I always seem to sort of like change my mind on things, but when they're plain like this, I think it's really, really good. So what I'm going to do, you can take your scissors. I'm not going to do it perfectly because obviously they're not going to be the right size for your papers and stuff. You're not sure what you're going to be using them for. But all I'm doing, taking the edges and just cutting them down. Get yourself a nice sharp pair of scissors or a guillotine. Sometimes a guillotine doesn't quite go through it properly. So I'm just going to cut them like this. Super simple. I'll probably take this little edgy bit off because that's quite thick. We won't need that. And on here, so just a quick prep, ready to go, which is great. I've also got going to use the actual packaging as well, the paper packaging. So you get the idea. That's what it's like. Turn them this way because they do look a little bit nicer this way than the Amazon writing on the front. So that's actually come out like that. It's nearly 7 inches by 17.5 centimeters, and that works out as 23 centimeters by 9 inches. So easy to cut down, ready to go. So that can go in a nice pile. This is what I did just with one of the big ones. Like I said, I'm just cutting them down. Now you don't have to cut this piece off if you want to incorporate that into your journal, but I think these are fab because I was going to say it's free cardboard, but it's not really because we pay for it, don't we, with our items that we purchase. So let's just cut these little bits down, and they end up looking like file folders. And we all love file folders, don't we? So let's just cut the little edgy bit off, pop that in the bin, and look at that, absolutely perfect, isn't it? So we can use that. You can use this for all sorts of things, but I think they just look really nice. So that's that bit. So it's a bit boring, but I think it is be worth it next year when I want to make a journal, and we've already got like a little cover ready to go. So I'm going to pop those to the side, and the other thing I wanted to show you, let's pop those there. I'm using the packaging now, And all as I'm doing, I'm making some pages to go in there in our journals. So I am sticking 2 pieces together just with glue stick, and then they are ready to make pages in our journals. Now I've made them obviously a little bit bigger for these ones, like this, because they're going to be a little bit bigger, but we can always cut these down like that, fold them in there, and then you've got a really lovely recycled journal, which is absolutely perfect, because that's really what we're all aiming for, is to recycle everything. And again, you can use your digital papers as well in there. So all I'm doing, super simple, taking your packaging, which I try and sort of like flatten it out, straighten it out when I receive it. I'm going to take roughly 9 inches, so that's going to give us, you know, a good size like that. This wouldn't work for, obviously, for the bigger journals, but I'm just doing this so that we can recycle, which is fun. Bit of glue stick. I'm going to be making something tomorrow, 1st of January. I will be making a journal. This is why I wanted to get these bits ready, just so that we can start off with a nice simple journal to start the year off. Nothing too fancy, something a bit simple, so that we know that we can finish something, if you know what I mean. So a little bit of glue on there. Oh, pick this up, turn this over like that, and just flatten this down. Now I'm doing these today because I want them to be dry, so I'm using glue stick, though it's sort of like a, just take your ruler and do that, it's a sort of like a dry glue. We still want them to be nice and dry. Take that, pop that on top of my pile, and we will do another one. So this is a sort of a really nice one to end the year off, isn't it? So we feel like we're actually achieving something. It's a nice quick one to do as well, using up all our lovely stashy bits. Let's fold that down. All our recycling, should I say, not our stashy bits. Just glue this down. Good bit of glue stick, like that. I do have a new set of papers out. They're just sort of like a collage-y papers, and I think I might start using those. I want to I do want to do more shabby chic this year, definitely, or next year, should I say. But I want to make more sort of eclectic journals, so you don't have to necessarily have a kit to make a journal. You can use what you have and make nice pretty things. So let's stick that down. Take this again and just rip this down like that. So then we have another piece. So look, I've got lots of bits here. So they also, some of the textures are different on your papers. Some of them already got perforations in, so you can rip them quite easily, but I just love them, and I thought I've got piles of this just sitting there not doing anything. Now these little leftover bits, I think I'm going to just glue this down. I do apologise, I've got such a funny throat at the moment. Still haven't quite got over my sort of cold. It sort of comes and goes. Now I'm going to just take that and fold that down, because we could make like a little journal card base, couldn't we? Because all as we're doing at the moment is just making base things, just ready to do. You can actually probably sew around this. Let's just use all of that up. Oops, fold that over, and then just fold this little piece like that. Oh, Andy's making some bread, and I think he's baking it now because I can smell it. It smells absolutely amazing. He's becoming a very good baker. There we go. And then we've got that we can clean up. We can use these things as mixed media, where I can gesso over the top of that and stick things on. But we've got a lovely little journal card out of something that you would have probably thrown away, like that. So I just love all these bits. I'm going to carry on and do a few more. Let me just try and tear this down so it's a little bit straight. To one side. Again, I'm going to, don't worry if you've got little rip bits, that's fine, it doesn't matter. So I'm doing mine roughly 9 inches, which is what, 23 centimeters. Just mark it off like that. Again, you can always do them bigger if you wanted to, but I find this is, you know, a good size. Let's move these bits out of the way. I'm also going to go through all of my digital papers and get those all sorted out as well, so that I can actually add them into a journal. Instead of keep printing things off, I'm going to use what I have as well. Because I'm sure lots of us have lots of digital papers that we have. Even bits left over from doing journals. This is why it's nice to do eclectic journals, because you can just fill it with all sorts of things. It doesn't have to match. It can look pretty. You can do anything. So let's just pop that down. Fold these down like that. I will probably be digging out all of my paper and try and get as much of this done as I can, because like I said, I want to do some more mixed media next year. So I want things to be ready, so I've got them, and then I don't have to necessarily think too much about what I'm going to be doing, because I've got things ready for me to do. Let's put that there. Then we could come up with a little, let's just fold this up like this. What should we do? Out there. Fold this up. Lots of nice glue. Like this. Oops. There we go. Fold that over. Like that. Perfect. Take this and let's just cut that little end bit off. And then we have another little journal card, which is perfect. And if you sew round that, I think that would look really, really nice. Now, it's still a little bit bendy, but once that glue has dried, they go pretty sort of like hard. I'm going to throw these little bits out. Oh, another thing, I'm not going to keep so much stuff. All the little bits, I'm going to try and recycle them. All the bits that I have left. Because I tend to sort of hoard. I think we all hoard, and then we end up with lots of little things that we can't really use, but we can recycle. So that's my aim as well. So what's that? Roughly 9. Let's fold this over. Or if I'm going to do something or keep something, I will try and make it into something, if you know what I mean. Like these little bits. Try and make them into little journal cards, because I did have those little pots that I bought. I don't know what I did with them. Here, let me just show you. these little ones. These have got my Christmas tags in, but I'm going to use these. Look, these can all just sort of like sit in here ready until I've got something that I can actually pop on there. So all my other journal cards I can add on to those. So that's the sort of thing. I want to try and be a little bit more organized. Famous last words, but we can try, can't we? We can all try to be a little bit more organized, a little bit more tidy. I don't think my art room, my craft room will ever be tidy, but I quite like it as it is. I've got things all over the place and I know where everything is. Tidying up just takes me longer to find something. So there we go. Okay, nearly at the end of my glue stick. Pop that there. Fold this little bit up. There we go. So I feel like I have got a little bit of this done. I will do some more of the envelopes, like that. Just tear these down. Don't worry if they rip, it doesn't really matter because they will be covered up. Josh, I mean, we can stick our digital papers over the top of these. Like I said, I'm going to gesso some of them. Get a little bit of that texture out so we can see the texture in these. You could probably pop it through your die machine and emboss it, so you've got nice embossed papers on here as well. And I think these would probably fit through my lovely new embossing machine. So look at these are just fab, aren't they? These ones I did a little bit earlier, so these ones are a little bit harder. So how many have I got there? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we've got 11 there, so that's like 22 pages, isn't it? Or if it's 4 like that, you've got 44 pages on there. So that's perfect. Cut them down, whatever size you got, but they are ready to go with whatever you would like to do with them. Even if you've got grandchildren, you could use them. Actually, you probably didn't have to stick them together, but use it for them to draw on and make little journals for them. All their bits and pieces. So there we go, guys. I will be doing more of these. I'm going to cut some more of these out because I have so many of these. Like this, love them. I just think these are perfect, absolutely perfect for making journals with. And if you're into your mixed media or something like that, this would make a perfect big journal for or journal cover, should I say, for mixed media work, wouldn't it? Because you can get the big nice A3 paper, A2 paper to use in these. Just cut the edges off. Curly whirlies, these are the bits that I'm not going to keep. I tend to keep things, I don't need them. There we go, turn it in that way and you've got a lovely, lovely, look at that. Can you imagine making a great big journal out of that? It'd be stunning, wouldn't it? Okay guys, so that's it for today. We've got some nice bits ready for tomorrow. I will be starting off the new year making a little eclectic type journal, but I want to make it sort of a pretty eclectic one. I will probably be doing it this size, which is the, what did I do that? I think it was 6, because I'm going to have the spine like that. So we've got that little spine, so we want to go from there really. So that's going to be just under 6, and the height is 8.5. So a perfect journal size, and then that will go with that. So that's going to be our project tomorrow, and I will be rummaging through all my digital kits, getting those out. I'm going to be using my new ones, so I'll probably show you those tomorrow as well. They're just a really nice scrap sort of ecology scrap papers, which are beautiful, which I am loving. So there we go, guys. Well, have a fantastic evening tonight. I hope you get to see some fireworks to bring in the new year. So please take care, stay safe wherever you are or whatever you're doing tonight, and I will be back with you tomorrow. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.